Danke para seguir conosco. Somente Marcos Anne Williams e essa aqui tem notícia internacional. Mercado de valor está subindo de golpe, com Dow Jones Industrials subindo mais de 500 pontos. Nasdaq e S&P ambos também subindo quase 2% e não está mercado americano só. Round mundo nós por mira emission 30 aqui. Tudo isso aqui para discurso. O discurso do presidente de China Xi Jinping. Na apertura da cumbre econômico asiático BAO na província chinesa Yan'an. Cumbre dominada para possível guerra comercial entre América e China. O presidente chinês, sin embargo, anunciou redução de tarifa, com tono de diálogo e cooperação, permitindo China mais abrir economicamente, assim aparentemente calmando tensão consideravelmente.
In need for a better life. China does not seek trade surplus. We have a genuine desire to increase imports and achieve greater balance of international payments under the current account. This year, we will significantly lower the import tariffs for vehicles and also reduce import tariffs for some other products. We will work hard to import more products that are competitive and are needed by our people. We will seek faster progress toward joining the WTO government procurement agreement. We hope developed countries will stop imposing restrictions on normal and reasonable trade of high-tech products and relax export controls on such trade with China. This November, we will hold the first China International Import Expo in Shanghai. This is a major platform. It will be an annual event. It is not just another expo in an ordinary sense, but a major policy initiative and a commitment taken of our own accord to open up the Chinese market. Friends from around the world are welcome to participate in the expo. I wish to emphasize that with regard to all those major initiatives of opening up that I have just announced, we have every intention to translate them into reality sooner rather than later. We want the outcomes of our opening up efforts to deliver benefits as soon as possible to all enterprises and people in China and around the world. I am confident that with these efforts, China's financial sector will be much more competitive. Our capital market will continue to enjoy healthy development. The building of a system of modern industries will be accelerated. Our market environment will be greatly improved. And intellectual property rights will be effectively protected. In short, China will enter a new phase of opening up.
Nações Unidas expressa preocupação pelo que tem situação na Gaza, particularmente para reporte que os soldados israelitas lo mataram candidato de palestino durante fim de semana tras o que estava em protesta. Vocero para o secretário-geral das Nações Unidas, Stefan Dujarric, está informando.
We remain deeply concerned about the situation in Gaza, particularly the reports of fatalities and injuring of civilians during last Friday's demonstrations, and we condemn any action leading to the loss of civilian lives. We reiterate our call on all sides to refrain from any acts that could lead to further casualties, and in particular, any measures that could place civilians in harm's way. The Special Coordinator, Nikolai Mladenov, remains in contact with pertinent interlocutors to have a full picture of events, including reported Palestinian attempts to bridge the fence and alleged IED attempts throughout the weekend. And Mr. Mladenov was in Gaza today. As the Secretary General has pointed out, the current situation underlines the urgency of revitalizing the peace process, aiming at creating the conditions for a return to meaningful negotiations for a peaceful solution. Meanwhile, Meanwhile, the humanitarian coordinator for the occupied Palestinian territory, Jamie McGoldrick, warned on Friday that Gaza's health sector is struggling to deal with the mass influx of casualties. An estimated $2 million is urgently needed in the short term for medicine, medical disposable lab materials, and other supplies.
Ayer ha tomado lugar reunión tenso de poderoso Consejo de Seguridad de Naciones Unidas, una reunión de emergencia para tratar la situación en Siria, particularmente el recién reporte de uso de arma químico. Aquí el embajador de Merca para Naciones Unidas, embajador permanente Nikki Haley, ha acusado al presidente de Siria Bashar Assad de estar detrás del ataque que calificándolo como un monstruo. En ese momento, el embajador americano ha acusado a Rusia y Irán, aliados del presidente Assad y el gobierno de Siria, de sostener lo que Merca llama una campaña de terror. Embajador de Merca Haley.
Only a monster does this. Only a monster targets civilians and then ensures that there are no ambulances to transfer the wounded, no hospitals to save their lives, no doctors or medicine to ease their pain. I could hold up pictures of all of this killing and suffering for the Council to see. But what would be the point? The monster who is responsible for these attacks has no conscience, not even to be shocked by pictures of dead children. The Russian regime, whose hands are all covered in the blood of Syrian children, cannot be ashamed by pictures of its victims. We've tried that before. We must not overlook Russia and Iran's roles in enabling the Assad regime's murderous destruction. Russia and Iran have military advisors at Assad's airfields and operation centers. Russian officials are on the ground helping direct the regime's Starve and Surrender campaign, and Iranian allied forces do much of the dirty work.
Según el embajador americano Haley, el Consejo de Seguridad de Naciones Unidas mester acto para poner paro na violência de violação do convênio para proibição de arma química que está tomando lugar na Síria. E se o Consejo de Seguridad não acto, América lo acto só, segundo o embajador americano.
Chemical weapons have been reportedly used dozens of times, and this council does nothing. What we are dealing with today is not about a spat between the United States and Russia. This is about the inhumane use of chemical agents on innocent civilians. Each and every one of the nations in this council are on record opposing the use of chemical weapons. There can be no more rationalizations for our failure to act. We have already introduced and circulated to the Council a resolution demanding unrestricted humanitarian access to the people of Douma. Assad is doing all he can to assure maximum suffering in Douma. Our priority must be to help the starving, the sick, and the injured that have been left behind. We also call on this council to immediately reestablish a truly professional and impartial mechanism for chemical weapons attacks in Syria, including the attack this weekend. We hope our colleagues on this council will join us, as they have before. This is the very minimum we can do in response to the attack we just witnessed. Russia's obstructionism will not continue to hold us hostage when we are confronted with an attack like this one. The United States is determined to see the monster who dropped chemical weapons on the Syrian people held to account. You have heard what the President of the United States has said about this. Meetings are ongoing. Important decisions are being weighed even as we speak. We are on the edge of a dangerous precipice. The great evil of chemical weapons use that once unified the world in opposition is on the verge of becoming the new normal. The international community must not let this happen. We are beyond showing pictures of dead babies. We are beyond appeals to conscience. We have reached the moment when the world must see justice done. History will record this as the moment when the Security Council either discharged its duty or demonstrated its utter and complete failure to protect the people of Syria. Either way, the United States will respond.
Embajador russo para Nações Unidas a critica a América pisa durante a reunião, dirigindo sua mesa na América via de embaixador americano Haley, pontrando esse América sabe o que está sendo. Acusando a América de estar responsável para o desastre de guerra de Iraque e Síria, acusando a América de estar causa caos onde que vai, acusando a América de estar tomando decisões descabelladas e continuamente de vai e of causa guerra sem uma estratégia bem delineada. E essa aqui tem resultado. Síria, embaixador de Rússia, Vitaly Nebenzia, durante a reunião do Conselho de Seguridade das Nações Unidas.
We recall a rhetorical question which the Russian president put forward in 2015 from the United Nations General Assembly to our Western partners, above all the United States, concerning their reckless geopolitical experiments in the Middle East. Do you understand now what you have done? And the response at that time hung in the air. But there is a response. No, you do not understand. Just as you fail to understand what you are doing now. The lack of a clear strategy on any issue is appalling not just to us. It confounds not only us. This is confounding to the majority of those seated here. But they have decided not to openly put this forward to you, following you everywhere you go, regardless of everything you touch. Chaos is left behind in the brackish waters of which you try to take out fish something. But only mutant fish are being taken out. I will put another rhetorical question forward. Do you understand the dangerous threshold towards which you are bringing the world? One of the areas where there's hostility that is most stark, that is on Syria. The terrorists and extremists supported by external sponsors are enduring a defeat there. Let us recall that we are talking about those terrorists and extremists who you supplied, financed, and deployed in the country to oust a legitimate government. And now it is clear why this is causing hysteria among those who invested political and material capital in these dark forces.
A debatir, América lo pone su resolução para ação na Síria na voto provavelmente água e cultura probabilidade Rússia lo bloqueia essa aqui com o direito de veto. Mas com a América tá a Rússia propõe sua resolução para Síria. Ainda é hecho não arriba mais. A organização para proibição de arma químico já lançou uma investigação para determinar o que exatamente passa na Doma. Para o se verdade estava o uso de arma químico, que tipo de arma química ou substância estava possivelmente de onde ela vem. Vocero para o secretário-geral das Nações Unidas, Stefan Dujarric, a confirmar de a investigação agora tomando lugar.
Earlier today, the Director General of the Organization for the Prohibition of Chemical Weapons expressed his grave concern in response to the alleged chemical weapons attack on April 7th in Douma in Syria. The fact-finding mission from the OPCW is in the process of gathering further information from all available sources to establish whether chemical weapons were used. The mission will report its findings back to the OPCW. And as you will have seen from the statement we issued yesterday, in which the Secretary General expressed his concern about renewed and intensive violence in Douma, in eastern Ghouta, following a period of relative calm, the Secretary General said he's particularly alarmed by allegations that chemical weapons were used against civilian population in Douma. While the UN is not in a position to verify these reports, the Secretary General notes that any use of chemical weapons, if confirmed, is abhorrent and requires a thorough investigation.
Hecho taco, hecho of no, a situação aqui está escalando e provavelmente lo sigue escalar. Merca já indica que se o Conselho de Seguridade não aprovar um tipo de intervenção ou medida, Merca lo não guarda e lo acto riba su mes e não guarda riba o resultado de investigação internacional da Organização Mundial para a Proibição de Arma Química tampouco. Merca lo actua assim não determinar Kiko e quem exatamente é responsável pelo qual passa na Síria. Presidente americano Donald Trump.
Thank you very much. I'd like to begin by condemning the heinous attack on innocent Syrians with banned chemical weapons. It was an atrocious attack. It was horrible. You don't see things like that, as bad as the news is around the world. You just don't see those images. We are studying that situation extremely closely. We are meeting with our military and everybody else, and we'll be making some major decisions over the next 24 to 48 hours. We are very concerned when a thing like that can happen. This is about humanity. We're talking about humanity, and it can't be allowed to happen. So we'll be looking at that barbaric act and studying what's going on. We're trying to get people in there. As you know, it's been surrounded, so it's very hard to get people in, because not only has it been hit, it's been surrounded. And if they're innocent, why aren't they allowing people to go in and prove? Because as you know, they're claiming they didn't make the attack. So if it's Russia, if it's Syria, if it's Iran, if it's all of them together, we'll figure it out, and we'll know the answers quite soon.
Il governo americano está pendiente para tomar uma decisão, e também que ele toma uma decisão sem guardar o resultado da investigação e sem o Conselho de Seguridade da Nações Unidas sua aprovação ou uma resolução de que se está necessário. Coisa aqui, nós chegamos na final de nosso boletim de internacional para agora que pausa breve de back com o deporte.